to our playtesting session for Postboard.com. Um, here's our sideboard plan for the matchup Jeskai Tokens versus Abzan. Basically, my plan was to remove a bunch of cards for the reanimation engine, so taking out like to see them written, taking out free murderers cuts, and replacing them with better removal, because I'm playing against tokens deck. Taking out rescue from down their vaults, removing one Ashen Rider, and bringing in like two kind of fatties, like in the form of two Resolute Archangels to stay alive for a longer time in the game, because he's still like to some extent the burn deck, and taking out 2 out of 3 communes with the guys because I'm bringing in a bunch of spells, so basically the commune doesn't work as good as it should. Normally bring in 4/6 to kind of answer Ascendancy, and obviously bringing in 2 Bile Blights and 2 Drowning Sorrows to answer the token swarms. I thought about like bringing Underhand or like Reclamation Sage as well, but Sage is so bad, like if you don't hit Ascendancy, it's just a 3 mana 2/1 buddy. He's obviously bringing 4 Stokes, replacing the strikes which don't hit much. He's replacing 1 out of 2 Chandras with an Elspeth, taking out 2 Charms, which are only like good for pumps, and kind of still like inefficient in that game, in those games. So bringing in 1 Anger, 10 Hostilities, and more spells, cutting 1 Raise the Alarm, 1 Treasure Cruise, so keeping 3 of each back in the deck and keeping 2 out of 4 Seeker of the Ways, and he'll also bring in like Arrays and 2 Glares to answer more Rhinos, Riders, and whatnot. And then onto the actual games there. I do think that Postboard, like, he's, I don't know, maybe even slightly favored because he has so many answers to whatever I do, but the games could like go either way depending on the draws, and it's like what kind of change of spells he could assemble and how much pressure he can establish in the first few turns. But definitely his deck is slowing down, but it is much more reactive Postboard, more controlly. So because he doesn't have the strikes anymore, he cuts some of the Seekers of the Way because they're kind of like not that great, like pushing through like Coursers and Caryatids and so on, and like -1 Raise the Alarm. So there is a bit like less action, but way better ways of like staying in the game and kind of reversing the gears and putting the games back into his favor. I'm keeping my 7 here. He tanks for 1 like over to Mog in his hand. Yeah, goes off with the Skylands. Pushes it to the bottom. Yeah, I'll go ahead and play my Skylands. Tank. Push it to the bottom. I don't remember what exactly it was. I think it was an extra land, which already had enough. So no action on turn 2 from him. But I had the Caryatid turn 2, which was super sweet. play this game, I'm pretty sure he has some stokes and strokes to counter my stuff, and maybe some turn 3 very important action like Ascendancy. So I thought seize him, see some token makers, see the glare, see the hostilities, see the rebel, see this stoke, and because I have quite a lot of action in the form of creatures in my hand, so I don't really care about his practice spells, so I decide to take away the Wrath of God or the end hostilities in this way. And he still needed to get this third land to actually cast anything substantial there. So I just go on with another Keratin. Yeah, he gets the soldiers end of turn, but that really not scary at all there. He still doesn't hit his third land, so just basically attacking for 1 because of the blocks with the Keratin. Now I have access to 5 mana, pretty much 6 mana, so it's really scary time for him. Yeah, move the fetch. Tanking for a while. I knew about 1 stroke in his hand, so I knew that my Rhino here would get countered, but at this board states I'd rather him countering 1 of my Rhinos and not any of the really big spells. So I decided just to go for it. Because then I would have had the whip and bring those Rhinos back in. So it's much more important to resolve a whip than the Rhino, for which no, he didn't have the stroke, he did have the glare harassing hand, which was a bit better but not much. So he would get rid of my Rhino, but I would basically helix him. Yeah, but of course so that he could attack next turn, so he decided to go for his second Raise the Alarm end of turn and then glare away my Rhino on his turn because of some unsickness. So yeah, now he would push 2 damage in, but now it's still a pretty healthy life total, so that didn't really matter much. And with so much mana I can just slam that Hornet Queen into play, and now he's in a lot of trouble there. Yeah, I'm so much ahead here on mana, board position, so it's really ugly for him. Now the whip too could go really away. But yeah, well, he had the triple stokes in hand, as he later revealed, so but against Hornet Queen it's just such a miserable card. And then I had the whip. If I wouldn't have the whip, he told me that he would still consider trying to grind out this game, but with the whip it was just way too much for him to handle. If we go for the second post-sideboard game. Ascendancy in this deck. But we would get to see that, nevertheless, in the next games. I'm more or less happy with my 7. Yeah, I think, yeah, that was the speculative hands. Basically, 2 land flood seas, Rider, double Rider and the Hornet Queen. So my hopes are to get like a Satyr plus or a Carotid. But I was in the play this game, so I bought myself turn 1 to Footsays him. He had very average hand as well. It's a bunch of lands, Cruise, Rebel, double Raise the Alarm. So didn't care about the Cruise, because my cards are generally better than he is. If we like compare them one-on-one. So I took out the Rebel. Not much concern for Raise the Alarms. They would only come like his next turn and attack a turn later. I did get another land, so I was in freelance, but no early action. It's actually expected because I take out some of the communes, but I do bring like stuff like Bottle Blight and Footsays for the early game. So it's kind of balanced out, but yeah, like less things to play right away on turn 2. But this matchup is not like super fast anyway, so that's alright as long as I hit my lands, like at least like up to 4 lands or something like that, then have enough of action going on. And Rhinos is such a huge card in this matchup still. So sometimes like when you don't really have much of early action and then from a Skyland you see like a second Rhino on top or something like that, so you definitely keep it. Because like, okay, they can counter it, that they can clear it, but it's just such a tempo swing. Yeah, casting Satyr in turn 3, like hitting another land, taking a swamp, pitching like a Courser and some other stuff, playing that swamp there. Yeah, now turn 3 Rebel. Because at this point I'm only concerned about preserving my life total. I immediately trade with the Satyr. Just don't want him like to have a bunch of like pressure on board at all. Here I'm just like, yeah, laying the 4th land to fetch. Fetching for planes and then casting Rhino, I think. Had an interesting choice, like he had an option of playing an untapped land like turn 2 so that he could cast like Raise the Alarm and try to raise me a bit better, but he went for like sculpting his hands better. I could see like pros and cons of either decision, but like I think he had a third on top land there or something like that. We had like 2 raised alarms, so anyways, so he would have enough of action going on turn 2, turn 3, so that was a bit weird, I think. But I don't know. Yeah, hitting the glare for my rhino. No big deal there yet. So he has only 1 untapped land, taking in some damage. But at this point, like, I'm realizing that's like, yeah, not as also well. I have a flood seize, and I'm stuck with a double rider and Harley Quinn in my hand. So, and then he has an active Rebel Master in play, so that's kind of spoils the game for me. I'm taking 1 here if I cast the whip, but then like I'm going to 12 and then he attacks me at least for what was it, 2 plus 4 for 6 next turn. I'm going down to 6 and then my next up decks are not really that amazing. Rise the alarms didn't quite matter there, but he had enough already in play like to kind of scare me off. I need this like drownance or something like that right off the top in there, and I would have gone to 6, and then if I like do that, then he just plays end of turns, couple of raised alarms, and I'm pretty much dead at that point. So yeah, that was a speculative hand, but I know on the draw I definitely would have kept it, I think. So digs me 1 more card to find a Satyr or Carotid, or to draw something like a Bile Blight to kind of stop his action. But on the play, I don't know, maybe I should have shipped that hand away. I'm not sure, like it had a lot of potential. Like just drawing 1 Carotid there would have fixed pretty much everything, I think. Or a Satyr turn 2 instead of turn 3, something like that. So like more blockers, faster access to extra lands and whatnot. And still no Ascendancy in play, so he didn't quite need it. So it just answers for some of my guys, and I didn't draw like much of my own action, and just going the distance with Rebel Master pretty much on its own. That speaks for the power of the card quite a bit. Game 3 of the Postboard games. My hand I think is quite alright. I do love like my Abzan deck for the really decent start in hands. You very rarely mulligan anything there. Yeah, he had like 4 lands, Chandra, Burst, and Stoke, and this for some reason decided to mulligan it. And he was on the play, so his Outburst and Chandra were quite on time, so that seemed really sketchy there. I would have definitely kept that hand on the play, maybe even on the draw, I don't know, because I'm not particularly like super fast deck. stoked would have answered like a courser from me, and then he would have had like outbursts plus toke, so that kind of deals with the Rhino in theory. And then Chandra, like, you kind of grind the gain out. But yeah, I think his 6 was even better. So just let it go. I'm going with Temple, Scry, and Pass. Scry to the bottom. He goes turn to Seeker, taking 119. That's a really good start for him. I go for C's. Oh, I see like his stroke, Ascendancy, Outburst. And I think it was a Rebel Master as well. So that's a really tough choice here. He still needs like a land number 3 for pretty much anything. I don't care about the Cruise there for sure. Ascendancy is kinda scary but slow. Outburst. He's still probably less scary than Rebel Masters. That was my thought process there. So I decided like to take out the Rebel Master there. Because the rest didn't matter so much. And he still needed to draw like an untapped blue source to cast Ascendancy, or any untapped land like to cast Outburst, or a blue source to counter my like late game. Yeah, just going another Temple Scry, thinking to the bottom. I think it was another land again. Yeah, he just goes to attack for 2. He's at 19, I'm already at 16 thanks to my Fotsies. Now I have there a few options, like either to play an untapped land and play a Courser to try to defend against his Seeker, but because I pretty much know his hands, I decided like to play another Temple and Carroted, because he really needed to draw an untapped land, like to be able to go through the Seeker there. Another Scry to the bottom. So he draws his next lands, and for some reason decided to not to attack at all. At this point I thought that that was pretty strange, because I think there was one turn where he drew like an unknown card, which could have been something potential, but because he sided out the lightning strikes, there were very few things like he could cast there to bump his Seeker, but there was no reason not to attack there. It's not like I have something like I don't know, a Johnny's Vengeance, or some way to punish him for like tapping his guys, and no haste creatures from me. So there was no reason not to attack there, and I don't think he should have played it like that land before combats. But it was minor issues, it didn't matter anyways. And well, like he doesn't have an untapped blue source because of Monastery, so I decided just to go for the Rhino and try to like become more proactive in this game. And he immediately draws like Declare Heresy off the top to get rid of my Rhino upon his guy, like get lifelink and drain me for 3 life basically. So 16 to 19. he has only one untapped land, and I can do pretty much whatever I want once more. So that's amazing. So now I go for the courser. No land on the top, just play Neverland, gain a life, and pass the turn. And there is a second courser coming up next turn for even more life gain and clogging the board even more. So yeah, the absence of cards like Ashcloud Phoenix and Mantis Rider is really speaking up here. Has like turn 3 mana spells here to keep up the action, but like if you would have had like a turn 3 Mantis Rider here instead, and the other option of Jeskai would have been probably a bit better. Now he goes for Ascendancy, taking 1 damage in the process because he cast the temple there. Thinks of like, yeah, it doesn't hurt to attack there, I think, because if I have like a removal, but it wouldn't have changed much, so just attacked like in order to gain 3 there, because might as well. There was no reason not to do this, I think. So yeah, play another course and then play the fetch off the top, gaining 2. And top deck another land, which I would like fetch away. End of turn, attacking with 4 courser, which is not summoned sick. So now it's 19 to 19. Feeling pretty great, even though he has Ascendancy in play and a bunch of like token makers in hand, but coursers are gaining me a ton of life and provide a huge wall against anything. And it's not like he's having a bunch of lands in play, so he cannot like play that many spells per turn. Well, basically just 1 spell per turn. So yeah, he would have 3 tokens, he would loot, he would pump twice his Seeker to attack through my courser, but that just doesn't quite do it. He really needs to have like insane follow-ups on his next turn to do enough here. Trigger. All the tanking. I don't know what he's thinking much here. Yeah, tokens there, because Bashfulson. 4, just take it. I don't care much about his life total there. So yeah, he just passes the turn back. I decided to play end of turn his tokens away. Well, he's pretty much tapped out. Yeah, fetch end of turn, gain 1 because of 2 coursers in play. I had enough green, so I decided like to. I had a carotid in place, so yeah, forest seemed fine there. But yeah, like that's a note to everybody who's willing to play this particular version, because you really need to keep in mind that like sometimes you need to hardcast that Ashen Rider, and it requires double black and double white, and sometimes you have to chum block with your carotid, so you're losing that, so you want to eventually get like that kind of mana like without carotid for the late game. Playing a land off the top, gain 2 life, so it's I'm in a really great shape there. Casting the wave, but nothing to bring back with it. So I just attack with 2 coursers, gaining even more life. He takes it, of course. Now I feel like there's got to be some ridiculous miracle there so that he could bounce back into this game. Because I do have more action left in my hand. Yeah, he goes for outburst, triggers, etc, etc. But this is just a small amount of mana, like to do anything there. Now he gets to attack for 4, gain 4 more. But that really doesn't scare me at all. With such a board state. And he goes for the top deck to raise there. That's just so weird. He could have done it like before he went to attack, so to attack for 5. That's strange, and he could have looked like again, but I suppose like he didn't want to discard anything he had in his hand if he did it like this. Yeah, and then I had another whip, replacing the one which got erased, playing another courser, attacking, more life, yada yada. So now even if he hits like 2 spells, his next turn, do have like 2 blockers, would have gained like 2 life in the process if I decided that I really needed to block. And I'm at 25 at this point, so you have to really like push it hard there. I draw my Horned Queen. My next up deck is an Archangel. I'm at 25. We're joking that like I don't want to cast Archangel next turn, so that I would have to go down in life. Yeah, I feel like the coast is pretty safe. counters in his hand. I didn't care about like Hornet Queen getting countered, so I just played it there, cause why not? Like at this point he wouldn't have much trouble keeping up like 2 lands every turn. Oh yeah, like Archangel was coming up, but that wasn't the Hornet Queen yet. It was just never created. Beg my pardon there. But that didn't really matter there. The ground was so locked there. Okay, that was a good start for him. Like triggers. So another outburst, more tokens, looting away a land, pumping his team. That wasn't enough for him to convince himself to attack there. He needed like one more spell there to pump his team, like to go for like triple courser. So yeah, he just attacked for 4 with the Seeker, which is okay, technically. Hitting one of my coursers, and because I know that he doesn't have lightning strikes after his sideboard, so, and I have a whip there with not much food for it, so I just double lock with 2 coursers, so he would hit 1 courser. That was a perfectly fine trade for me. So he is at 23, I'm at 29. Yeah, Archangel is super funny at this point. It's not a land. Then I just activate whip, because might as well. And then attack with just 1 courser, because potentially pretty scared, like with Ascendancy and 6 goblins there. After looking at all these Postboard games, I feel like there is a chance that instead of taking out 2 out of 4 Seekers, maybe taking out 1 is okay, or something like that, and keeping like a couple of lightning strikes is okay, because he could have like in here 6 tokens in play, Ascendancy in play, sort of enough mana, but the inability to play multiple spells per turn is really annoying. When the difference between a really nice turn and a bad turn is casting an extra spell and pumping your team like for 1 extra time. Yeah, and here makes another mistake in there, possibly, because he knew like there was a Floodseas coming up next turn. Thanks to coursers, he tanked for a while and thought of like the chance of maybe attacking and then casting and Hostilities there and not loot. He would lose his tokens here, but like the board was clogging up so much, and I would have taken away the and Hostilities with the Floodseas anyway, because I really wanted to keep like my Curtis and courses in play, especially with the whip in play as well. Drawing the seas, and then there is a Dinosaur on top, which is like making it a real misery town for him. Yeah, casting the seas, such a high life total, I don't care. And then I just see stroke and then hostilities. Yeah, and it's pretty nice like that I don't care about stroke at all here. Which doesn't happen all that often in this matchup, because I did play test it before these videos, and it felt like my opponent had the strokes every single time when they really mattered, when I wanted to cast my rhinos. But at this point in the game, in such a case, like, they did nothing, and then the writing was on the wall. So yeah, just casting drown here. Thought about like attacking first before the drown answer, but I had the chance of losing one or two of my coursers that didn't sound good, so just casting drown in the first main phase, or in the second, but not attacking at all. That's what I mean. Nothing in the bin for a whip. Scrying Satyr, I think, away. What was it? I think Neverlands. Yep. Just passing the turn because my coursers are 0-2. Yeah, opponents is not having a nice time at all. Just to land there. Yeah, Hornet Queen off the top. I know he has that stroke, but I don't really care. Unfortunately, I was 1 mana short here of casting Hornet Queen and whipping it back if he counters it, so I just decide to attack with the coursers. But because I wanted that stroke gone away from his hand, while he only had like 2 cards in hand, the second of which was just another land. And next turn, anyway, I would have been able like to whip it into play, so definitely wanted to cast it. Just to eat that counter spell. He loots away the lands, thanks to Ascendancy. Drawing just a Stoke, which is really not doing much here at all. Something like an Elspeth would have been pretty sweet here, I suppose. But then on the other hand, I was whipping my Hornet Queen next turn. So that was pretty sad for him. His best card, like, apart from Ascendancy, I mean, Elspeth wouldn't have done much here. Just drawing Satyr. Decided, because I had so much mana, I decided to play, to cast Satyr first to see what I hit and what I put into the bin. Most likely Hornet Queen was still the best target, but something like an Ashen Rider could have been even better, because I had the great targets in play in front of Ascendancy, so I did that. So Seas, Courser, Fetch, and the Rider, so that was excellent. Snapping a land, milling Rider into the bin, playing the Fetch, gaining 2 life. in trigger. In response to the trigger, opponent decides to cast his Raise the Alarm, and because he knew like he was pretty much like that this game, so he decided to loot and see like the top card this way. Then the Ascendancy would have been gone, and all he had was just 2 tokens, so it was just really bad position for him. So yeah, Footsies really help in this matchup to know like what his outs are, whether he has counters or enough spells to go with Ascendancy and so on. And then after this we go for one more game Postboard in the next video.